find fascinating about this role is the idea of someone going undercover is they're basically acting. The person's acting undercover. So I'm wondering, can you compare the idea of going undercover to acting, but also you're kind of acting within acting?
Oh, like a Russian doll.
Yeah.
You kind of keep opening, keep, or which came first, the actor or the role?
Yeah.
Right? It is very similar. And so for an actor to say, okay, you're going to then put on the cloak of some other character and infiltrate into a scene, a scenario, is very much what we do. So that part of it was not difficult at all. But after talking with Bob Mazur, the real Bob Mazur, and consulting with him on his character and his role and his duties, we realized that what he had to do and what I have to do are completely different things. In the essence that we know it's make-believe. And at the end of the day, we go home or to our hotel. At the end of the day, for him, he hopes he's alive, and he hopes that his wife and children will still accept him as he takes a circuitous route home. So he makes sure that he's not being followed. And constantly looking in that rear view mirror to make sure he's safe and keep his family safe. That's the level of stress that he lived for nearly 3 years.
There's a great line in the movie where you say, I want the right people to know my name. And as a Breaking Bad fan, I hear, know my name, and I hear,
say my name.
Say my name,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm just wondering though, when you say a line like that in a movie, I know you're so deep in that character, do you have a little callback to the my name element? Does that even happen for you? As a fan, I hear.
Probably when I first read it, it was, oh, that sounds similar. Right. How can I not make that sound the same as when Walter White said those words, or nearly those words? Yeah. So you keep an eye on those things to make sure that you don't slop over into a character that you've played before, and you want to be, true to this one.
I know this is a completely hypothetical situation because we're dealing with fictional and non-fictional with Breaking Bad versus the Infiltrator. But could you see someone like a Bob Mazur infiltrating maybe the Gus Fring or the Walter Whites of the world? How do you think he would? What do you think he would do?
I think he would have ended up in a barrel with chemicals that I'd pour on top of it, just dissolve his body.
Yeah.
No, he's too good.
Yeah.
He was very, very careful. Very careful. So, but that's the risk level. Yeah, I think there could have been, there are infiltrators in the cartels and informants and things like that. So that kind of risk exists, and it very much was not a hypothetical for Bob Mazur as the infiltrator. There's
a devastating moment in the film where a character gets shot on a dance floor, and you and Diane Kruger get back to the hotel and you hold each other. And that to me was I got I shook when I watched that scene, because it was two people who were human beings who were doing a job that just fell together as human beings in that moment. They just left the job and went, we're humans, we just saw this happen. Can you talk about what that moment meant for you? Because that really shook me up.
It meant a lot. It was these colleagues, these two people who depend on each other to hold their weight so that they protect each other as they go, male and female, as it were, both committed to, in their personal lives, to other people. So they have to maintain that professional distance, and yet they're fond of each other. And at that moment, Diane and I talked about this a lot, what we wanted to bring out in that moment was the need for comfort. Two friends, two colleagues, desperately needed to be comforted and told through a hug that we're safe and we're going to be okay. Reassurance that was, and to see these two cops, these two undercover police officers really, and doing really well at their job,
break down.
A vulnerable moment, and see them just hold on to each other and vibrate with tension, and they have to be able to exhale in each other's arms. It wasn't a sexual scene at all. It was the need for that human compassion to each other.
Mr. Cranston,
good to see
always
you,
good to see you, man.